Welcome once again to Stay Alive with Church Alive. And this is your host and president of Church Alive Development Corporation and the bishop of Church Alive Community Church. And once again, we're here to bring you a holistic approach to the gospel because God is concerned not only about your spiritual needs, but your physical needs as well. And we're excited here today because we have a very special friend of mine who has a very important issue that many of us have all been affected one way or the other. And I'm talking about diabetes. That's right. A terrible word throughout the Black community. And many times that this diabetic problem leads to amputeeism. And so the spread throughout our African American community, many of our relatives and our friends are losing their limbs when that happens and the diabetic situation, takes its toll, and there's very little help. And but we're excited because we have a program called Double Amputee 2, and it's a foundation. And this foundation was founded by a good friend of mine, Mr. Charles Watley, and his wife, Diane. And so I know that this program will be a help. You say, well, I'm not an amputee. I don't have, well, I tell you, with diabetes, it could happen to any of us. And you will then realize that I need help. And to many of you have relatives now who are struggling with this problem, we want you to know that help is not on the way, help is here. And so without any further ado, I would like to introduce a very good friend of mine, because we go back in the days, of radio and television where I first started. And he has helped many throughout the communities, especially the Bronx, providing housing, also helping churches to develop their property. So many things he's done, and we partner in those things, and they've been very successful. So I'm proud to present to you without any delay, Mr. Charles Watley, who is the co-founder. Now, I want you to get this right. He's the co-founder of the Double Amputee 2 Foundation. Charles Watley, welcome to Church Alive.
Thank you so much, Bishop, for this opportunity to spend some time with you and your audience this morning, so I can get this to make this announcement and get information out about Double Amputee 2. So basically, what happened was after I retired, and I had diabetes for 45 years, which amounted to 2 pills a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and I was fine. However, as I stated, after my retirement, I went to the podiatrist to get my nails cut on my toes. And he says, wait a minute, it looks like you're going to have a problem with blood flow. So I said, yeah, okay. But because I didn't have any discomfort for a while, I kind of put it in the back of my mind. And then suddenly, I had a wound, and then I had swelling, and all kind of different things started occurring. So I wound up in the hospital to see the doctor there. And then, in fact, it just got worse because I was running around trying to find the right doctor when I already had the right doctor, the chairman of medicine at Lenox Hill Hospital. So long story short, by the time I got in front of I had to be rushed to the hospital by my wife and my son. And I guess I was prepped for surgery for the following morning for emergency surgery, which they amputated my leg below the knee. And later on, a few weeks later, they did 5 toes for my right foot. So when someone tells you that you are in danger of something, or you have the propensity to have this ailment, and in the latter stages, you need to act on it right away. Even though I had it for a lengthy amount of time, I guess it was so normal to me, and I was handling it, I thought, but then it handled me. So out of this experience, after I had the surgery, I felt led in my spirit because I was fortunate enough to have the proper medical care, the proper professionals, meaning doctors, to care for me. And I saw more people in the hospital that yes, they were getting the proper treatment, but the aftercare became prominent and dominant in their, like it became dominant in my life, so I knew it was going to become dominant in theirs. But I did have a level of comfort that I was going to get these things, and that highlighted to me, I guess through the grace of God, or the fact that I saw so many people lacking certain things when I went out. They didn't have wheelchairs, or they were in damaged wheelchairs. I found out that 94% of the population, especially minority population, didn't have health care. Um, so I was led to my wife and I to starting Double Amputee 2 Foundation, and it took a while. And this is our first appearance on TV, thanks to you, Bishop Burkett, that we're able to get this message out. We're not really seeking anything as far as remuneration, but the fact is, any support from the community would be helpful. Also, those who do have the message to get out is, if you do have diabetes, you need to start dealing with your situation, and making preparations as far as regular meetings with your physician, talking to different groups that are available, such as us, to get the information out there to you, and especially in a timely fashion, because with diabetes, it's just a ticking time bomb. It's not something that just you can just pick up on. It just, you take your medicine or whatever. If you're taking an injection, or in my case, I was taking pills. So for 45 years, and then after 45 years of this experience, then this came about. So we're kind of dedicated to those, to help people get wheelchairs, help people get crutches, help people get whatever need to, whatever we can supply to them. And if we can't do it, we'll try to seek out, reach out to the powers to be, to see if they can provide it. Because diabetes is a devastating disease, and it shows up in many shapes and fashions.
Now, you started this foundation. Tell us about the foundation and the mission. And also, we're going to talk about, volunteers. We're going to talk about spreading the word. But right now, I want to know, just, where is your mission? What is really your desire to make the difference in this diabetic situation?
Well, first and foremost, you have to have the people to help. So we want to get the word out to the people that we exist, our location where we're downtown, uh, and what we really want to do is just educate, because then the person's own, uh, I guess, sense of urgency about their situation will rise to the surface. And then when that happens, when that develops, we like to have the people, the volunteers that come in to help. What we're really focusing in on is shut-ins. It's a lot of folks who have diabetes who can't get down the stairs because the landlord, the elevator might be out of service. So we want to focus on helping the shut-ins, so it can do just a simple thing that most people take for granted. But when you have diabetes and you don't have legs, then you can't walk down the stairs, especially if the elevator is broken. So you need someone. We want to be able to provide people to go to shopping for them, to get a shopping list, to take to the supermarket in order to get the things they need just to live every day, survive the day. So that's extremely important. We want to also just educate and get people to establishing discipline, because discipline is extremely important in diabetes. You have to take your medicine at a particular time. I mean, not that you have to be on the dot, but if you know you need to take it at 9 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to be taking it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So developing discipline is extremely important. And also, you never should, if a person has diabetes, they need to be exposed to material to read.
Right. Now, I have my secretary. She um, has lost both of her legs, and she's a marvelous person, wonderful personality. And talking to her on the phone, you wouldn't think she is handicapped in that area. But we had a situation where we tried to get her an improved, first of all, repair. Then we tried to get a new wheelchair. What about advocacy? Because that's a lot of folks, like you just mentioned, they're put aside, and the system puts them off. And many times they're home, and there's no food in the house, and it's supposed to be delivered. What about advocacy?
Well, that's just what I was touching on. That what we're doing is we're contacting our double amputee two. One of his missions is statements is that we're working with the local supermarket in our area, where we know that there's a high rate of diabetes and just sickness in general, so that we can establish teams and get people into a rhythm, a schedule, if you will, to take care of some of their things that may seem minor, but they're not minor to diabetics. So that's one of our main focuses, and that's information. So we do need people to be engaged so that it can be better, um, um, better, received,
Yeah.
better received, but more education. And if you educate, then people can operate. So that's where we are.
Right. I guess you, in many cases, have advocated for people as to getting proper service. Even the act, transportation sometimes is delayed, and they're waiting around on in a wheelchair on the sidewalk waiting. And they call me sometimes and say, Pastor, this is terrible. They promised to come, they didn't show up. I'm out here, and how can I get some help? It's just one of your target areas.
Yes, it is because as I stated earlier, 94 according to statistics, 94% of the minority population doesn't have any health care and other medical assistance from the system. And part of that is these assist rides. So if you're engaged in the system and you're approved, then you will have that opportunity you just mentioned the fact that you can schedule transportation pickup and drop off if you have the capability of a wheelchair or either you can walk. So yeah, we advocate that. We're that's going to be one of the main topics of what we're trying to do because one of the things that has to be established, we feel, is that sometimes people can have a disease no matter what it is, but in this case, diabetes, but they haven't established the discipline.
Now, what about the spreading the word? Because there's a lot of people, and that's what this program is all about, by the way, is to spread the word, to educate people as to that, when you have this happen, you, in many cases, as you start thinking about the end, your ending of your life, but there's more to that. Now, what about counseling? That's what I'm saying.
Well, we're going to be at our foundation.
Yeah.
Once we're properly staffed, we're going to be providing counseling, and what we can provide a let's say a conversation about healthcare. We're going to be bringing in doctors, volunteering doctors to either come on shows like yours so they can explain certain things to them or give them information they can reach out to. Once they can get approved for medical care, that in turn will accelerate their actions and seeking help for them and pointing them in the right direction to receive that help.
Now, you find out that it's important for the amputee person to have someone to speak for them, or how to approach the situation. Is education involved for the amputee person?
Absolutely, Bishop. Um, One of the things that we're endeavoring to do is bring people in. We have a skeleton crew now, volunteer, um, who are doing setting the paperwork in play, and that's more so for my wife and I, so that it'll be a structure once things really pick up and really start rolling. That we'll be able to. It'll be automatic that they have to fill out certain documents.
Yeah.
Part of our job is to identify what they're besides them informing us, identifying something that they need to do they may not be aware of.
All right. Now, partner. There's all types of organizations. Certainly, with the church. And I can say to you as the what they call me now, the Bishop of the Bronx, that we're going to bring the churches involved here. We're going to support you in every effort we can to spread it to our congregation as to the services that you provide. This television program, we're going to beam it into every area of the religious community so they can understand that there is a role to play by leadership and there's a need in their congregation. But what about partners? What kind of partners are you looking for besides the church?
We're looking for any and everybody that gets this message to participate. How they do that, that's their choice.
Right.
Some people won't have the financial backing, and that's okay. They can volunteer time. One of the things we're doing, we've got the office, of course, but we're looking to set up a field office, which is going to be handling the donated wheelchairs, the donated crutches, or things that we make, depending on our funds available. We'll be buying some of these things ourselves and giving them to the people. It's not all, it's not all, it's really a give and take type situation. So we just want to be fully engaged, be ready for pretty much any situation. That's why we want to bring the medical field into unison with us in our mission.
All right. Now, already you have organizations that are supporting. You also have some physicians that are also responding to this cry. Tell us a little bit about that, and how is the medical field responding to the double amputees?
Well, to be honest with you, because of the regulations within, we're a public service organization. We're not a medical organization,
right?
And because of the fact that was kind of my wife was handling a lot of that because of her legal background, and she was able to say you can't do this or you can do this. So, in other words, we couldn't represent ourselves as a medical arm. We can only be advisory. So, what we're basically, to answer your question, is that the people I deal with personally, the people who got my prosthetic from me, I can speak to them and say, "Hey, would you mind getting involved, or would you want to get engaged?"
Right.
And that's what he said that. Mm-hmm. So,
okay, we're going to be taking a break in just a moment, and then we're going to come back to the area of resources and how you can, help in that area, and maybe not, sometimes it's not what you do now, it's what you plan to do. And how is the program moving forward? What are some of the things that you want to achieve? And how can those people who are watching this program donate both time and services? But what is the future? What is your next step? We're going to come back to those kind of questions, and we're going to move along and bring the people into being part of double amputees. Okay?
That's
we'll
fantastic.
Be right back. Okay.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's got to come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
Okay, I can call you Charles because we go back in those days where we were so close and doing so many wonderful things that I thank God for keeping us alive, that we can continue to do some wonderful things in meeting the holistic needs of our people. Now, I mentioned then, give me some of your future plans and what would you like to achieve, and how can we, the audience that's watching this program, how can we get engaged?
Well, we have a telephone number, obviously, that people can reach out and contact us, and we also have. I'm sorry, Bishop. Yeah, the telephone numbers for those who want to write it down, if we have time, is 464 632 3717. Repeat, 464 632 3717. Our website is www.datfdn, doubleamputeefoundation.org. www.datfdn.org for our website.
Okay, Charles, we're going to go back into your story, your life experience as a double amputee, and how important is the support of family members and relatives while you're going through it. Now, your wife is really, God bless her, for staying with you and hanging in with you, to allow you to go through this situation and even have a vision to help people. So tell us something important to family members of amputees.
It is beyond, you can't even register it on a scale. It's just tremendous, off the chain. If I didn't have the support of my wife and having the programs that I had or the health care that I had available, I don't know where I would be. And that's what really was the impetus to motivate me, to get something out here, to do something to make people aware that, because there was so, as I mentioned earlier, according to statistics, 94% of the minority population doesn't have health care. So if in a disease like diabetes, you have to have consistent health care, because when you go see the doctor, if you don't have a plan, you're not going to see a doctor. You're going to be on your own. And
Children and grandchildren.
yeah, so, and children and grandchildren, it's just, it just have helped me tremendously. Professionals that I knew, such as yourself, besides being an icon of the religious community, things of this nature is where people, you have to have. It takes, what they used to say, it takes a village to build a foundation. I can't really remember the lingo connected to that, but it takes a village, and that's really what we're asking your audience to do. If they have a relative that they can point to, or a relative they can bring to us who may be reluctant to, because people is a vast low self-esteem, depression thing, and I think that I didn't go through that. And also that this happened to me when I was in my 70s rather than my 20s. Instead of 73 and 27, I was 72.
Right.
So it prepared me. I had lived the bulk of my life. Whatever experiences I was going to have, I had. But there's so many different things that come into play. But one thing that I really, and you just pointed it out, that really grabbed me was that people don't realize. They see the physical, they see the amputations, they are all those type of things, but they don't see what's going on in a person's head. The loss of self, the lack of self-esteem because they're in a wheelchair and they walked all their lives, or whatever the scenario might be, depending on that person's personal experience. So yeah, it's I'm so grateful, and I think that every person that's suffering with diabetes or pre-diabetic needs to find out, and that's what Double Amputee 2 is all about: giving information and help people deal with their own ups and downs, because you're going to have it.
Now, programs like this require funding. And we know that there's a lot of wonderful people out there that are searching for nonprofit organizations for which they can donate. And also the fact that this is all tax deductible. Am I correct?
You're absolutely correct. Anyone who wants to donate, they will get we are a 501c3 organization, which means is whatever they donate, they get credit for that on their taxes. So whatever tax bill they may or may not have, but they'll definitely get credit for it. It'll be reduced. It's a quid pro quo type situation. You do for them, we do for you through the graces of the United States government.
And the main thing is there's someone there that's going to have a better life for that donation. There's someone there that's going to get help. There's someone there that might get a wheelchair if you're able to, give to this foundation. Because a lot of people out there, they don't have even the funds, or they're not connected with the system where they can get a good wheelchair. And I say to all the pastors that are out there, you have a responsibility for your congregation. And just don't pass them off as a wonderful sister, and she's handling it. No, I think you have to, as leaders, as pastors, we have to engage ourselves and feel the suffering of those who are amputees and realize that they need a special kind of care. And the care is right here with this wonderful program that God has blessed us to have, Double Amputees 2 Foundation. And we encourage you now to take this information down, write that check. If you want to get engaged or more information, we'll have other programs coming down the line. But so you'll be able to really get involved, and you'll see these accomplishments and the wonderful things that you're bringing new life or even hope to a person who is an amputee. And so I want you to take the information down. We're going to put it up on the screen right now as we come to a close. And we want to thank Mr. Charles Watley. I want to commend your wife, Diane Watley, for the wonderful job that she has done, and that God has blessed her to be able to see the fruits of her labor and all that she gave to make you the man that you are today. So we want to thank you so much. Everything's coming up on the screen. Take it down. We have some information on Bronx Church Day that we're going to plug in at the very end. So that's very important that you watch our programs. Thank you. Until next time, we want to say to you, we love you with the love of the Lord.
Thank you so much, Bishop, and your team.
Thank you.